It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day. So let it get away.
Hey guys, Justin Lewis with firefighterselfrescue.com. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Sorry I've been absent with no videos or no thoughts for the last month and a half or so. Been studying a lot, but I'm back. I got a lot of content, a lot of stuff that I want to share with you guys. Sorry about the phone ringing at the station. What do you do? The thing I want to talk to you today, guys, about is education, and not only our public school systems, but our education that we rely on, through our fire service careers. I've always known, even when I was younger, all the way through college, that I wasn't a big fan of our educational process or our system, and as a whole. I don't think it was really there. It didn't really meet any of my needs, and I can't be the only one. But I didn't really know what to do with it or what was exactly wrong with it. I just didn't know until now. And I always knew I wanted to change it, but I didn't really know how to either until now. Seth Godin has written this free download called Stop Stealing Dreams. And that's basically what he thinks our school system does, is it steals our dreams, and all it does is teach us to comply, and it creates just factory workers, which is basically he gets into what our school system was created for, and it was created in the early 1900s to mass produce people to fill factories during the Industrial Revolution. Well, if you don't know, our society that's not really relevant anymore, and so our school systems need to change, but they're not. And it's basically, he wrote it to get this conversation started, that if we, as many parents and teachers, read this thing, we can at least have conversations about it, and somebody a lot smarter than myself will figure out a way that we can change this system. But it has to start with the conversation. So please read it. It makes it real easy. You can go to his website. You can download it for free. So firefighters, we gotta like that. It's free. You can just print it right off from there. You can download it to your Kindle. You can download it on iTunes. I put a link on there to take you straight to it. And please share it with as many people as you can, and talk about it, and somebody will figure this out. But there's a lot of really aha information in it, and Seth Godin is, in my opinion, one of the most brilliant minds of our generation. Since I started reading it, my mind's been going 100 miles an hour on this stuff, and trying to figure out where I can get involved and what can I do. And so I obviously doing this video just to raise some more awareness about it. But then it got me thinking about my own fire service career and the education that I've gotten. I've got a 4-year college degree, and now I'm almost done with my fire science degree. And I started thinking about different trainings and different classes, and not only through the college that we get our fire service degree from, but just overall, any class that's held at your department or a neighboring department, wherever you go. And what we've accepted as teaching, to me, is tragic. We got a guy that comes in, not all the time, but most of the time, we got a guy that comes in with a stack of copies of the PowerPoint that he's going to talk about, and he hands out the PowerPoint, and then he proceeds for the next couple hours to just read every line of the PowerPoint. That's not teaching. That's an insult and a waste of time. We can read. If you're going to do that, save everybody the time. Just hand out the PowerPoints and then excuse them. Let them go be home with their families. We don't need that. Okay? So if anybody ever comes to your department, comes to you to teach a class, or you volunteer to teach a class, don't do it if you're going to do that. Turn it down, or if you do that, then just hand them out and let them go home. But if you're not willing to take the time to make it relevant to your situation and your time, and really understand the material yourself to where you can really put on a good class, then please don't do it. It's also got me, and again, not all fire departments are like that. Not all classes are like that, but a lot of them are. There's an extreme amount of them that are. And again, not all public schools are awful. We hear about it all the time. There's a principal that comes into a school, and he's a visionary, and he comes in and he changes the culture by holding teachers accountable and letting teachers teach. Not just have them teach to a test, which is basically what the majority of our schools do now. And he holds teachers accountable, and he holds students accountable and their parents accountable, and it turns it into a great environment that teachers are knocking down the door to come be a part of, and students are wanting to come there and be a part of it. We read about them, but they're the exception. They're not the norm. So same with our fire departments, and one of the schools that he talks about in here is the Harlem Village Academy. I'll put a link to that as well. Do some research on this place, man. If I was a teacher, I'd be moving there just to teach. I mean, it's my wife actually asked me the other day if we could move to New York so she could work at this place, and I said, well, why don't we start our own school? Why don't you create it? Don't go do it somewhere else. You create it. We got students here that need help like this. So I want you to do two things. That's basically all I got for you, but I want you to do two things. Go to the website, download it, and then think about a couple things. First, I want you to think about your own children and their schools, and while you're reading this and after you're reading it, say, is my kid's school providing all the things that I feel are important for his future or her future? And then I also want you to think about your own fire department, and not just the classes that you take, guys, but anything that's got a test associated with it. There's a big section in that book about tests, and anything that's got a test associated with it, whether it's a new hire test or a promotional test, anything like that. If there's any, just consider them, think about them, and see if there's ways that we can improve this stuff. We don't have to accept all the time, well, that's just the way it's always been done. That's what we've always done. That's crap, okay? We don't have to accept that. So I want you to think about those things. There's an awesome quote in this book, too, that I'll leave you kind of with, is he says, you should be, I don't know if he says it or I think he's got another quote in there, but he says, you should be ashamed to die unless you've won some victories for humanity. What are we doing? I talk about it all the time. Make a difference, a real difference. And this is a powerful one, and one that I'm super passionate about. I've got young kids, and I talked to my wife and I said, I don't know if we have enough time to change the public education system. If we all, even if we win, it'll probably take the majority of our lifetime, and that'll be too late for my kids. And your kids. So that's all I got. Thanks for sticking with the website. I know the firecritic.com's got EMS and fire blog contest of the year. I was nominated last year. Don't know if I am this year or not, but go check it out. There's a lot of really cool fire blogs, and you can learn tons of information that your local firefighters are putting out. So check all that stuff out. And other than that, go out and make it a great day, and start making a difference. Take care.